try a different camera this time and see what happens. I got this new phone from Blackview. It's the Explorer 1. I have expectations. It's heavy because it's got a big old battery, and this thing is rugged. This looks like a pretty ordinary Android phone. It is very, very thick because it has 20,000 milliamp hours of battery power. It's gonna last you like 2 weeks in normal usage. But where this phone really shines for people like you and people like me, watch this trick. Well, I mean, check that out first. It's got a screen on the back. It's got 2 screens. Remove the flap. What's this? I now have a dual band UHF VHF handy talkie Android 15 cell phone. Going into my Interphone, my application. K6 PPT is the local repeater. I got a PTT button on the side here in red. Oh, and it worked over there, but not here. Hold on. Walking to where it did work. There we go, now I'm getting some reception. Okay, so phone. That's the repeater tail. KM9G on the K6 PPT repeater. Anybody out there? I've had a bunch of trouble trying to find an actual repeater in the area that was alive. That was the one that I could get to give me a repeater tail back. I'm back here in the ham shack and I want to show you that it's not just sketchy on the phone because of the repeater, it's sketchy on a radio because of the repeater. So hang on a second. This is my ICOM 705 radio, programmed into the same repeater, 446575, and you can actually see it right there on the screen, 446575 with a CTCSS of 203.5, and we're gonna try and key up and see if we get a response out of it. First off, power. Let's go all the way up, all 10 watts. No response. Here's the weird thing. 10 watts out of the 705 with a mag mount antenna on the roof versus whatever power. I haven't done the power testing yet. We'll do that in a second. From the Blackview Walkie-Talkie, it's the Explorer 1 Walkie-Talkie. The Explorer 1 Pro has a FLIR camera on it too. That's even more awesome. I don't know if the Explorer 1 Pro comes in a walkie-talkie flavor though. Anyway, what I was saying is 10 watts rooftop mag mounted antenna versus however much power the HT is putting out. The HT got it outside. I got a repeater tail outside. The 705 couldn't do it. I'm not saying the 705 is not a good radio. Don't come at me in the comments. Okay, so this is my friend the Repeater Book app over here. This is 20 miles, I think? Yeah, 25 miles, 2 meter and 70 centimeter repeaters. I tried most of these. Last year when I was here, most of these worked. And for some reason, they're not working this year. I don't know what's going on. What I want to show you is how easy it is to program this. So I'm going to go into channel. I'm going to hit the plus key here to add a new channel. And then I'm going to pick one of these. Let's do the one in Tombstone. This is AB7CQ. So I'm going to type in AB7CQ. All right, channel type. Digital. We're going to check DMR in a second. Analog is what this channel is. It is UHF. The frequency, no decimal points. So 44, it's backwards. This is the send frequency, which is the lower one. 449, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until it's dead there. We're going to go back to the receive frequency, which is 4446. It's a 5 megahertz offset on 70 centimeters. That's crazy. We're going to do wideband. Squelch at 5 is fine. Send type is wave, which is waveform audio, analog audio. Or what we really need is a CTCSS tone of 100 hertz for this particular repeater. So CTCSS, and then we pick 100 hertz. And send sub audio code is what we're doing there. And receive type, I'm going to leave this at wave, which means it's going to just receive anything, whether it's got the sub-audible tone on it or not, which is fine. Monitor, enable, relay disconnection. I don't know what this is, so I'm just going to say disable on that and hit enter. And then up here in the corner, I got this wrong a couple of times. If you just push the back button, it doesn't save it. You got to hit this check mark. So hit the check mark, and it's saved. And now I have the K6 PPT repeater that we got outside, and I have the AB7CQ. If I pick it, it's going to ask me if I want to switch to it. Of course I want to switch to it. And I need some squelch. There we go. Squelched it out. No problem. I thought this said pointless strategies. It says politeness strategies. Off-screen intercom, so you can have it in the background. Limit send time, timeout timer, device area, power is low or high. Can you hear that? That's the flutter of a DMR signal. So this thing will even work with the screen off. KM9G testing parrot. It will even work with the screen off. KM9G testing parrot. We've got a talk button on the front, and we've got a PTT button on the side. So if I hit the talk button on the front, KM9G testing parrot. KM9G testing parrot. It works pretty good like that also. But one of the things where this radio really shines is forget about code plugs, just do. Check this out. So I'll show you how to add a contact. It's super simple. You go into the contacts list, and if I want to put in a person, I hit plus when I have the single person identified, and I give that person a name, like name, and I put in their number, like number, and I hit go, and I hit save. And now I have a new name and number associated pair, and I can activate that, and then I can delete it to get rid of it because I don't need it. And then for talk groups, there's your talk group. I have Toads in there as a talk group. I can also put in, let's say, TG92, and it's associated group number of 92. I'm just making this up. And there is your talk group. Done. I don't need to go crazy with it. I don't need to do anything fancy with it. If I want to talk on the Toads talk group, I tap it, I hit activate, I go back to the home page, and I'm on the hotspot, and my call number, you can see it here at the bottom, 319-2083. That's the Toads talk group. I can go back to contacts. I can switch over to TH92, whatever that happens to be. I can come back here. Call number has changed to TH92. This is like the easiest DMR experience I've had in my entire life. Parrot talk group number 990, TO, that's my number, 3170318, because I was testing out simplex comms. So I'm going to talk to myself. So I have an Anytone D168 here, and this is me talking to myself. Actually, that was me talking to Parrot. Me talking to myself. So over here, I'll put my own number in, 3170318, and then I will key up, and this is KM9G talking to myself over simplex. And yeah, there's a horrible echo, but that's to be expected. So let's go in the other direction. KM9G talking over simplex. And there we go. I talk to myself. It still says TO spot, but that's fine. The hotspot kind of ignored talking to myself. And then let's check out channels. Super easy to add channels. This is 2-meter call, 70 centimeter call, GMRS channel 1. Is this thing unlocked on GMRS? Can we do that? Nope, we can do that. And I've got a dummy load attached where the antenna should be. So I'm still perfectly legal to do this. But you can see, even though my number is up there, 3170318, that's my DMR number, it still says analog communication and still shows up. Let's try the All-Star version of Parrot. This is KM9G, testing the All-Star version of Parrot. Microphone is about 6 inches away.
Audio level is just about right.
Nice. All right, so now I want to do some power testing, so I need my Shorecom SW102. And there is a pretty slick case here to hold the SW102 and all the accessories that I need. So I'll leave a link down below for this for you guys as well. Okay, I'm going to put her onto the 2-meter calling frequency. So inside the settings, there is a radio button there for power, high or low, and it's set to high right now. And let's take a look. About 3.5 watts. Set it over to low power, and we'll give her a test. About half a watt. Let's do high power again. Let's go to 70 centimeters. 4.2 watts. 4.1 watts. My camera went crazy, but do you see that screen on the back? That is pretty slick. Switch it to low power. I saw 2 watts, but it's stabilizing around 1.5 watts. It says 1.38 on the display there. Pretty cool. Station calling on 446. Are you still there?
Okay, PPG. How do you copy?
You're making it in a little scratchy, though.
Yeah, a little multipath or something. I'm hearing a little bit of distortion on your signal as well, just where I'm located. Where is your location?
I'm over near the Safeway in Benson.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. I'm not very far from there.
Excellent. Where are you at?
I'm down here in my mobile down by the Benson Park.
Okay, great, great. I am about 5 watts on a handheld radio inside of a RV with metal siding, so that's actually a really good report from that kind of distance. Like 4 blocks, 5 blocks. So since I have the Galaxy S24 phone, I figure I'll do a comparison between the S24 and the Blackview Explorer 1. So I got this up on the screen here for you. They're both 5G. The Blackview is a rugged design. It's designed for your professionals, people who are out in the thick of it all the time and need kind of in the thick of it type things. Built-in walkie-talkie, S24 ain't got it. Ham radio bands, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, S24 ain't got it. DMR, nope. The main display, the Blackview, is bigger, 6.78 versus 6.7. And if you guys have been comparing measurements, you know that 0.08 inches actually makes a difference. It's almost a full tenth. The screen refresh is the same. The Samsung doesn't have a backside screen. System on a chip, if you guys are into some of this crazy techie stuff, MediaTek Dimensity 7050 versus a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. S24 wins on that one. Performance tier, S24 wins on that one. It's kind of the same thing. RAM, the Blackview has 16 gigs of RAM and is also expandable virtually if you wanted to add like an SD card to it and expand the RAM. It's actually got, on the side of it here, SD card tray. So you can add in a SIM or an SD card, and that's waterproof. ROM storage size, you can get both phones in different storage sizes internally, but the Samsung is not expandable. You buy what you buy, and that's all you're going to get. So buy once, cry once, as they say. Battery size, this is where the Blackview wins. I mean, you can tell just by looking at the thickness of the two of these guys side by side. 20,000 milliamp hour battery. This is 4 times the capacity of this. This is going to last you a week or two on a charge versus 2 days. I get 2 days out of my Samsung. Let's see, fast charging, 10 watts faster fast charging on the Blackview, but it's not going to really matter because it's going to take forever to charge the Blackview with how big that battery is. All right, let's look at cameras. There is a night vision, 20 megapixel night vision camera on the Blackview. 64 megapixel versus 50 megapixel. And then the Samsung has a couple of extra cameras on the back side for some extra versatility. Front camera, 50 megapixels on the front camera on the Blackview. Holy moly. They both have some AI stuff. I don't use the AI imaging, and it says basic here, but night photography quality. That's not night vision, that's night photography. Those are two totally different things. Wireless charging, Blackview doesn't have it if that's your thing. They both do NFC, they both have GPS. The speakers in the Blackview are ruggedized for the environment that it's going to be in. I mean, you can hear them, but the Samsung does actually sound pretty nice. Blackview's Android 15, Samsung's Android 14, and then the weight difference, oh my goodness, you're paying for it with that battery. 638 grams for the Blackview and 197 grams for the Samsung. So 4 times the battery, 4 times the weight. Actually, it's 3 times the weight, but I'm trying to be dramatic here. And then the look and feel and stuff, that's purely subjective. If you need a good flashlight, if you need good battery life, if you need ruggedized phone to work in ruggedized environment, there's a choice. As always, if you want more information on the Blackview phone, I got you with links in the description down below, along with the super cool Assurecom SW102 case. Who would have thought I'd be taking a cell phone and doing a ham radio power test on the thing? Let me know what you guys think about this. Is this the right direction to go in? Where should we go next? I don't know, because I literally don't know, if there is any way to integrate this with ham radio apps. Could you imagine doing WinLink just with this, or APRS just with this, and not having to attach anything to it on the outside? This thing's already big enough, so adding an extra attachment on the outside, don't want to do that. But doable. This would work great with the Vero through the Bluetooth KISS TNC, just saying. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button or hit the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.